Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Andy's Automotive. Hopefully you can hear me well. I'm sitting in my 2015 Volkswagen Passat 1.8 turbo. I do have the 09G transmission, and currently I'm set up for the MQB setup because I switched all my turbo intercooler piping and all that around. But I had a lot of fights with the turbos and wastegates and all that going through. I had the IS38 on here, but I had to get it tuned, otherwise I was under boosting. So that's going to cost me $1,200. I don't have that right now, so we're going to go with to spend on the tune anyway. So I did get a reflect tune for the transmission. I'm going to have that hopefully on within a week or so, and I'll test that out. Hopefully it's awesome. The guy was pretty confident that it would help with better shifting and all that. I got that from reflecttuning.com. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you how I adjusted my IS12 wastegate, and it should be the same for the 20. The IS38 is the one where you just put it on ACK knowledge or acknowledged voltage on your OBD ELEVEN or VCDS, and you can adjust it until you get your 3.53 or 5.2. Some people like a little different voltage, but that's what the APR rep here where I live did when he dialed my first time on my wastegate for my IS38. So we're going to go into OBD ELEVEN. This is OBD ELEVEN Pro. There's my car. Obviously that's not mine. Mine's white. So we're going to go to the little 3 bars on the bottom. Go into engine. All right. Go into live data. The car is currently idling right now, just for the record. And it's very hot. I just drove home from work. So charge pressure acknowledgement. Okay. And this is where you got to pay attention. So here's your current voltage, 3.5. So I could probably adjust a tiny bit to get what I want. Now again, the car is idling, so you might be able to hear it. I'll throttle it a little bit. So 349 is what it hit. So it's right on the lower side of things. I could probably adjust it. I mean, it has been driven a good bit since I did this, so it may have adjusted itself a little bit. To open that voltage up more, you want to go lefty-loosey if you're leaning over the engine looking left, which is basically the direction you're going to be turning from the wastegate door, the flapper valve, if you want to call it. You'll be turning left. So watch what happens when I turn off the car, and then the voltage will change, but then I'll turn the key back on, but not the engine. Here we go. Okay, you see that? Now we are at 1.41 volts. Now watch. This is how I adjusted my IS20, and I'll do the same for the IS12. IS12. My IS12, I'll do the same for my IS20 when I put it back on. I'll probably do that one first, get it tuned, and then see how it does. And then if it's like just, oh wow, this is a whole different car, then I'll be fine. I'll save the IS38 for my Volkswagen Atlas. So 1.41, ignition on. Watch this. Ignition off. 3.52. Ignition on. 1.36. So you do have a slight deviation there. All right, so when it comes time to do your adjustment, do it varyingly. Key off. 3.52. So basically almost at my 3.53 that I had. So this is with the ignition only. 1.31, 1.32. And I'll just do this 3 times to see where we're really at. 3.525, so that looks pretty spot on, right? 1.33, so it's staying in the same range, okay? This is where you do your adjustments. Again, the ignition is on. You can adjust it with the ignition on. That's okay. Not with the engine running, obviously, because it's going to be burning the hell out of you. Excuse my language for those sensitive. Key off. 3.525 volt. Key on. Reverts back. 1.44, 1.3, whatever it was. So basically what you're going to do when you have it at this moment, ignition on, engine's not running, I'm sitting at 1.43 volts under charge pressure acknowledgement. Okay, you're going to go ahead and adjust your wastegate to the left if you're too high. If you're too low. So if you're down at like 3.4, 3.3, you'll go lefty to open it up, make it a larger voltage when you turn the key off, and then, or If you're too high, you want to tighten it down just a little bit to draw it back in. Okay, so one more time. Say I did an adjustment. Okay, let me check. Ignition's still on. Key off. 3.525 volt. All right, that looks like I'm in my range. We're not worried about that number so much. It's this one that makes the most difference. The lower number is kind of irrelevant. I've seen some guys have like 2.2 volts, 2.10 volts. When I found some random video where the people are actually showing it. Now that may be because they're on an IS20 on a Golf R or GTI or something. But for my car, my 2015 Volkswagen Passat 1.8, technically non-MQB, but I have that setup done piping wise. But my ECU and all that stuff is still based on this 1.8T TSI. Key off, 3.52. So we're still in that range. Now, mind you, when you're flipping the key off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on, here we go, 3.49. So I'm right there at that lower minimum at idle. Some people say it's fine all the way down to like 3.3, but I may adjust this back up just a hair to maybe 3.54, 3.55. But what I will say is put a battery charger on your car while you're doing this. I use my my Super Boost jump box, and I just let it sit on there, and that does just fine because it keeps the battery voltage high. That way it doesn't drop below the ECU minimum, and then it starts kicking you out for aborted for safety reasons. And if you're having that problem, then it might be because your battery is dropping too far down voltage wise, and the computer knows that I can't keep doing all these checks and keep the ignition on and the blower motors running on the fans, you know, whatever. My car, my OBD ELEVEN app does not let me connect with my radio on. It fights over Bluetooth, so I don't know if that's because I have Android or what. But I have to unpair my Volkswagen radio Bluetooth wise and then block it so that way I can actually do this process uninterrupted, because it keeps asking, do you want to pair? Do you want to pair? So recommendations. This is OBD ELEVEN. VCDS is going to be very similar for this process. This should work for the IS20 also. The turbos are similar idea, and the wastegate does not stay closed like an IS38. IS38, you're adjusting strictly the voltage from what I remember, and then you just do your you go back. So one more time I'll show you. So let's say, okay, 3.8 or 3.48 is a little low, I want to adjust, so I'll turn off. Okay, voltage reverts, 1.29, key back on, and then we pop back to, oh, I took too long, it lost service. Go back. Let's see if it'll let me do it this way. So ACK, okay, yeah, there you go, 1.36. So right now, key on, engine off. Say I do my adjustment, key on, 3.516. So you want to be, and it drops back down, you want to be somewhere in that range, but you only get that range when you turn off the key. Hold on, too many things going on, and I don't have a battery charger on here, just for the record. Let's go back. Okay, anyway, so I showed you that like 7 times, so that should be more than enough. Now you'll go to engine, basic settings, just type in charge, it brings all of them up. Test charge pressure actuator, first adaptation of charge pressure actuator, position test of end stops of charge pressure actuator. Now, the only one I've got to work on this, one turbo, the position test of end stops of charge pressure actually worked. No other wastegate has actually been able to complete that. I don't know if it's just the car don't like it, maybe the wastegate was just not agreeing, or maybe the voltage was just out of range. But in this scenario, you're gonna want first adaptation of charge, basic setting status. All right, and the battery's probably low right now. Let me see. I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't want to actually mess it up, but screw it. No, press and hold. So active, basic settings ended. So that was good. So now I've just reset this. So what the computer is going to do, in most cases, we'll have to relearn how I'm driving to make sure that that wastegate is in proper form. So what the one guy told me to do, the APR guy, he was like, anytime you do anything, do basic settings, turn off the key, let it sit, 1, 2, 3, start it up. All right, you saw my little battery thing go red on my car, on my app, so battery was probably getting a little low. All right, let it idle for a minute. Okay, battery's green again. Go to the little thing, go back to engine, live data, ACK, charge pressure acknowledgement, okay, 3.496 volts. So we're still in the same range, nothing's changed. Again, engine's running idle right now. Engine's still pretty hot, but it's not, it hasn't been driven in the last 5-10 minutes. So key off, voltage drops. All right, 128, key on. This is what you want to see right here. Where does it go up to? Because that's the max stop. Oh, see, yeah, the battery's probably getting low, so it's going. Well, let me back up and come back in. ACK. Anyway, this is what you want to see. 1.38. All right, key off. 3.52. And if you take too long, it's going to lose signal, so you don't want to do that. So 1.2, key off. 3.52. So right there, we're good to go, right? And thank you for watching. Hopefully this helps the guy that's been wanting this video. I'll go on YouTube, and when I upload this, I'll message you and let you know it's uploaded to my Armor Bull Trading channel. Thanks for watching. Cheers.